Star Labs is known for technological advances in the DC universe. The one technological advance that they can't seem to master is a lock. If you ever watch The Flash, people walk in and out of there like it's a revolving door. I bet the locksmith must be one of those guys that's just possibly an extra from Fargo. Lovable, but incompetent at the same time. Don't worry, Mr. Barry. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be good here. Oh, geez, you betcha. I've got everything taken care of. Oh, gosh, there goes my finger. It's possibly bleeding. I've got to go to the hospital. Cue my... Welcome to Comics on TV, a weekly discussion about what else but comics on TV. Today, I'm honored to have two special guests. One, Bernie, a.k.a., well, Bernie. That's about pretty much what everyone knows.
It's a good, unique name. I don't really need an alias, you know? I was thinking about stage names, you know, and I'm like, nope, nobody else is Bernie. Everyone's going to know it's me. I can just roll with my real name.
All right, now, pronounce the last name because I don't want to butcher it.
Bregman. Not to be confused with Bergman or Burgerman, as Jack of all nerds would say. Sorry, Derek.
Bregman, so say that correctly. And, of course, Braxter Timberlake, a.k.a. Brax. That's how I call him. From Point of Geeks.
How you doing?
And I'm doing well. Now, both of you guys have, like, well...
You could have gone with Brax the Beastroyer. I would have done that as a stage name.
No, Brax
is awesome.
Both of you guys have companies that I am, like, fans of. So, if you could just give us a little breakdown concerning both. First, Nerds Like Us.
Well, I've been producing and hosting Nerds Like Us for 5 years, doing all sorts of events all over the country, whether it's producing events at conventions, including the costume contests and masquerades, to Q&A sessions with celebrities and stuff. And then I do midnight movies in Hollywood, bringing back 80s and 90s nerd culture classics, all the stuff you have on your shelf, but you weren't old enough to see in a theater or you weren't old enough to understand when your parents took you to it. But Ghostbusters, Goonies, Back to the Future, Hook, Hocus Pocus, Beetlejuice, all that good stuff. I've actually got Galaxy Quest coming up on February 17th. Right. That's a Friday at midnight. And then I'll be showing Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Hook later in the year. Scream and The Craft will come back too. And all sorts of fun stuff like that. And a lot of you may know I'm the host of Club Cosplay, literally a nightclub for nerds, and it's freaking amazing. If you ever wanted to have a good time with other nerds in a safe but super fun environment and stay well hydrated, Club Cosplay is your place.
So pretty much you're fortifying my childhood. And
yes.
You're doing so much more for me.
That's the idea is how can we be silly adults and have fun, and I'll find any way possible to just rekindle our childhoods, but party it up like adults should.
And Brax, please tell me more about Points of Geeks.
Yeah, I run Point of Geeks. It's a breaking news website about everything geek culture that has to do with movies and television. So breaking news, every now and then inside scoops, features, reviews, and really what we try to do is give the full story for every story that comes out. So it's not just this is just what happened today. It's really what's the context of what happened today and how does it connect to what happened last week and what's that mean for speculation for tomorrow.
Okay. So give me a spoiler now. Just go. Just run with it. Go.
You're just going to have to tune in and find out.
Oh, you're killing me, man.
Or you can just follow my page because I share Brax's stuff. So.
There you go. It's perfect. Well, guys, we're here to talk about comics on TV. So let's get to it. Talk about comics on TV. First up, Supergirl. I mean, we had the White Martian come through. We had a lot of interesting things concerning, John Jones.
Well, called that the second that we saw Hank Henshaw and the big ears and everything. I'm just like, oh, it's John Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
When's that going to happen? You know, even before they started with the glowing eyes. I actually really like Supergirl. I was kind of predetermined not to because I thought that the first trailer was very kind of teen angst CW, you know, a little bit. It is to a degree, but maybe I think it's less so than Arrow's been or some of the stuff in Flash. And I love those shows, but they got them a lot of like kind of, you know, Twilighty emo vibe to it.
Shirt off, kind of.
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's just get Amel just doing some more of those freaking pull-up bar moves. But anyway, Supergirl's been good. I'm liking it. I like the fights and the adventure. I you know what I really love? Her kind of mother-mentor relationship with Kat. I think that is a really cool dynamic. And I think Calista Flockhart plays a great, you know, bitch with a heart. Yeah. So that's been cool to watch. I think Jimmy Olsen's a little too dreamboat. Like, it's Jimmy Olsen.
It's James.
The hell ever with James. He's been Jimmy Olsen for 70 years.
From True Blood to this, he's doing pretty well. All right? So just give him his moment. Give him his due.
I mean, and dude is good looking. too good looking to be Jimmy Olsen. Come on now.
True.
But no, I'm digging it so far. And the storyline with her family is interesting. I love that her sister's a part of the DEA or DO. What is it?
Is it the DOC?
DOC, whatever.
He's a rapper. Government. I don't know.
I don't know, but that's been good. And I like bringing the Martian Manhunter storyline into it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've enjoyed it so far.
So how did you like the episode so far?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, like the season started off for me, I felt it was pandering too much, but I've really been impressed by how much they've included the DC mythology in it. I didn't think they were really going to connect that much. So, brought up like Jimmy Olsen and other things that they've obviously changed.
Yeah.
But really, what I've really been impressed by was just like the whole Martian Manhunter mythology. I didn't think, they might have had him on, but I thought it would have been fan service.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're really getting into it, and these are stories that we're probably not going to see in the movies or in other shows. So it's really cool that they're taking the opportunity of using Supergirl and it's pulling me in.
Oh, definitely.
It's going to support the future Justice League film, I think, even though it's not going to be the same cast or anything. But are they going to do an origin story of Martian Manhunter for Justice League? Not super likely. He's just going to show up, big green dude, shapeshifter. That's awesome. He flies. But at least the non-nerd, that mainstream person that is coming into nerd culture is going to have an idea from Supergirl of who Martian Manhunter is. Exactly. And I think that's one of the bigger services that I think the DC TV universe is going to bring, is helping that mainstream person connect with our nerd culture.
Exactly. That's something that a lot of people, and yes, that's why they're going to change the story a little bit, but still, it's not truly fan service. I don't feel it is. What about Bizarro Supergirl? How are you guys feeling about her? I mean, essentially, we know that's who it is.
Yeah,
that's what we saw at the
that's
last frame.
as soon as we saw that teaser, I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's almost too much, don't you think? Like every new episode is a new like signature piece of the mythology.
I would say that, but I've been really impressed by. I mean, these are the same producers that are doing The Flash. And they're throwing everything on the wall, but not only are they throwing it on the wall, but they're making it make sense.
Berlanti's got that gold thumb right now.
Berlanti is not letting go on anything. Everything he puts out is gold.
Yeah, and
he's like the modern day Botchko.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good one.
Exactly.
Dude killed it in the 90s.
And they might have a musical episode
right?
NYPD coming up on Supergirl there. So
excellent.
We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I really think that it's that even though they're going there and they're going as far out as you could possibly imagine with the DC universe, that I think that they're really doing a good job of explaining it to common viewers and people that aren't as familiar with comic books.
True, very true. Speculations. Do you guys have any ideas of what may be coming up soon? I'm definitely looking to hear you.
Yeah, I mean,
we want to get some breaking news. I'm pulling for it.
There's no breaking news with this, but I do think that there's a lot going on with Maxwell Lord, and I'm really interested to see how they really reveal his true character. Because, if obviously with the comic books, he's a pretty deep character and he's an important character in the mythology.
Yeah.
So they've done a good job with villains on other shows, whether it's, Arrow or The Flash. So I'm really
Flash is killing it now. Flash is crushing the competition.
Zoom right now is
best superhero show on television. Not even a close second to any of them. And I like most of them. I've mentioned that I think Gotham and S.H.I.E.L.D. are practically unwatchable, and I just stick with it to stay current with what's going on in our world. But Flash is crushing everybody. It's nuts, and they already introduced the Earth 2 multiverse theory.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I might have hung on to that for a little while because that's just. But now they can do whatever they want with that show.
Well, now with that, the whole idea of them doing that, and then after that, we have Legends of Tomorrow, and if they want to somehow connect Supergirl, they still can, and do the whole Earth 1, Earth 2, time travel.
Absolutely.
All this scope has now just expanded to so much that they'll be able to cover.
It's almost too much for the common person to process, though. Kind of what we were talking about with how Supergirl is doing a good job of mainstreaming some of the mythology.
Yeah.
My one concern with Flash is that it might be an overload, and I don't know that common folk can handle that.
Yeah, I mean, just getting I guess we're changing shows, but even just getting the timelines correct in your head, it's just like a whole homework session that you have to do on your own. So
definitely.
As the seasons progress, it's going to be interesting to see if they balance the playing field or if they just keep building on this world building that they're doing. But it's like a Jenga set too.
Oh yeah,
You know
definitely.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
but
have to be able to support
if
it.
you remove the wrong piece, everything's going to fall apart, and that's what we're hoping that Berlanti at least doesn't get to that point. So far, he's been straddling that fence, and he hasn't made a mistake.
The good thing is that they have a congruent showrunner across the board,
Exactly.
the same way that Figgy has been that glue for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And so I think that at least gives me a pretty good amount of confidence they're not going to screw that up.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't. I mean, going into simply just Flash itself. Right now we have Zoom, which we're all worried about. But then also besides that, I mean,
we just got Reverse Flash back again.
So that's a big thing. And now he's in a different timeline, essentially different point in his timeline. That's where he came from, and now he just got sent back.
This is where we start breaking people's heads with time continuity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so far they haven't made a mistake where you're like noticing something too large, where it's like, oh, wait a minute, no, that doesn't actually add up because if, etc., etc. So far they're doing well. And speaking of time travel, I mean, there's Legends of Tomorrow, a whole show about time travel.
Which has time traveler Rory wearing the 10th Doctor's coat, by the way.
Exactly.
I just want to know,
No one
can you
noticed that.
find out for me, is that intentional? I don't remember Rip Hunter's clothing all that well from the comic books, but I definitely don't remember him dressing like the 10th Doctor.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely allusions to all over. And I think that Legends of Tomorrow is a good... I mean, I didn't understand the reason for the show when it first started. We have a bunch of ragtag misfits. We have characters that, aside from Captain Cold and maybe a couple other ones, aren't really notable characters. But they really set it up well to really expand and go similar to how we were talking about with Supergirl, but really go places that you could never go in any other show. I mean, they're going to the Old West, and we're going to see Jonah Hex on TV.
Yeah, exactly. That's something
never
that's
thought
big.
you'd see him again after that movie that failed. You know what I mean? So it's a good opportunity. And,
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's weird because Jonah Hex, like, it's weird enough to say he has a big cult following. Because I myself, I'm like, I don't care about Jonah Hex. But every time I say it, there's always someone that's like, how dare you? Like, Jonah Hex is amazing. Everyone loves him for some reason. So he's going to have to be in Legends Tomorrow. And they're going to be able to cross over with so many different characters. And that's going to be something that's great because it still expands the universe as far as
Interesting
DC TV.
to find out how they're going to get Hawkman back into it after the last episode.
That's what I just said.
Especially because Carter Hall is the most popular incarnation of Hawkman.
Right.
And they've already talked about the dangers of looping into their own time stream, and they can't go back and fix something that they screwed up because it's just going to tear a hole in the space-time continuum. Right. So it's going to be real interesting to see how they go back and do that.
My thought was that they're probably just going to go back in time to previous versions of him. And
yeah, but then it's not Carter Hall, and there's that's kind of the mainstream Hawkman. So, I don't know, we'll see.
Most likely when they do travel back in time, they have to always find him from that timeline, use him for a second, then disappear. Like, he's going to have this foreknowledge. It's going to go ahead and rip a hole in the space-time continuum because he's not supposed to know.
Right.
So that's where that issue is going to come in for me, but I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm interested to see how they do it. That's going to be the best thing for me.
This season's exciting, and it's even more exciting to see if they do pick it up for season 2. What else they could do? Is this going to be a whole new band of characters? Is it going to be a whole new band of legends? Like that's a really fun thought. You could play around with that. And every season it could be like an anthology, which is exciting.
What's interesting to me is how good the show is going to be after that pilot budget is gone. Because right now, what we saw, like every time they have a moment, there's this giant firefight outside, pyrotechnics galore. 80 feet high as far as fireballs. What's going to happen now when we have to bring everything back down? Are we going to be able to still do that or no?
We're going to have to see, but I mean, the good thing is that they do have a good range of heroes with various powers and a lot of stuff that can be done on a tighter budget.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can certainly amplify how much White Canary you're getting and less of, Captain Cold and Atom and some of the more expensive shots. So there's opportunities there and to get more cerebral. But actually, if you think about it, though, the team is pretty heavy loaded with, you got frickin'... Oh gosh, what is his name? Nuclear Man, Firestorm. Thank you. And that's expensive to shoot any of his stuff.
Very true.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, we'll see what they can do. I mean, they were able to do it on the Flash, so I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be good.
Yeah, but on the Flash, they have a really good way of balancing the heart on those downtimes. The interesting thing about the Flash, and with Supergirl, I find myself really just, okay, when's the next action scene? On the Flash, I really think the connections between the characters is the strength of the show. Yeah. It's not really the special effects. It's not seeing him move fast. It's just really his connections with him and his stuff and Joe West. And him with, it's all these other relationships that make it go beyond. And the first 2 episodes of Legends of Tomorrow hinted at it, but I'm not sure if you could really connect the same way to these characters and if they have the same depth. So that would be important to see if they can
Especially
really
having
flesh it
just
out.
eliminated the one relationship that was bound to have chemistry.
Yo, that's very true. That's very true. But I mean, hopefully, the great thing about it, it's a time travel show, so they can always come back to it. And that's one of the great things about it. And the one thing that's also good about it is that we're going to have to do a little time traveling ourselves, call this conversation quits. We can come back to it another time as well. So I want to say thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for coming out. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, you guys can always check us out on YouTube. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe, like, follow, share our videos. Okay? So with that, once again, every great show host has an even better sign off. Good night, everybody.